Hey, my name is Zeus Tipado, a writer for Healing Maps, and let's talk about you participating in psychedelic studies. So you may have heard that people around the world are joining psychedelic studies, but what does that mean? And most importantly, how can you participate in it? So why be a part of a psychedelic study? Well, aside from the obvious, which is free psychedelics, your participation in psychedelic studies actually helps science and progresses the field of medicine, neuropsychopharmacology, and neuroscience. In Europe, there are quite a few universities that engage in psychedelic scientific studies. For example, the University of Zurich, University of Basel, University of Leiden, and in the UK, Imperial College London. I may have left some out, and if I did, I apologize. And in America, there are a few universities that engage in psychedelic science. For example, Johns Hopkins University in the East Coast, University of California, San Francisco in the West Coast, and a couple other places in between. So if you're looking for a variety of psychedelic research to be a subject in, you should probably look at an academic institution. Being a subject or a participant in a university-led psychedelic study usually means that you're taking more than one dose of psychedelics. Also, the assortment of psychedelics that are usually researched at universities are pretty wide. Almost all psychedelic research at universities are done in clinical settings or a laboratory. Sometimes there are event-related psychedelic research that happens, let's say within a commune or an event like a rave, which occasionally happens, but most of the time it's usually in a lab. So what data do we get when we have university-led studies in psychedelics? Well, most of the time you have to report your actual experience through a questionnaire like the 5DAS. And aside from the questionnaires, usually when we have psychedelic research, we're looking at physiological or neurological effects of the substance itself, usually through fMRI or fNIRS, or sometimes EEG, all of which are devices attached to the head to look a little bit deeper inside the brain. And sometimes cognitive tests are actually administered during the experience and after the experience to test exactly where a person is behaviorally. But there is one good thing besides getting free psychedelics. You often get paid. Pretty good too. Depending on the research, the pay can range from $100 to $5,000 and sometimes even higher than that. This financial incentive is usually paid out at the end to keep the person engaged enough so that they won't drop out after the first day. Usually in university-led studies, the subject has to be a healthy participant, which means the person shouldn't have a history of depression or any cognitive disorder like schizophrenia. When it comes to explorative psychedelic research, healthy participants make the world go round. The reason why is that the data obtained from a psychedelic study that involves healthy participants usually can be applied to the rest of the world or the general population. Of course, we're assuming that the general population are filled with healthy participants. But sometimes there are studies that actively look for depressed people, usually in an attempt to treat treatment-resistant depression. Now, to be a part of any study, you have to complete a very thorough application process. And also, don't lie in that process. Believe it or not, researchers can actually tell if an applicant is lying. And those lies are definitely going to hurt your chances of being part of a psychedelic study. So don't lie. Finding these applications and opportunities, that's pretty difficult. Usually you have to go to the website of the university itself or follow the department on social media to hopefully be there when they have an open call for subjects. And since I conduct my research at the psychopharmacology department at Maastricht University in the Netherlands, I think you should probably hop in one of our studies. Here in Maastricht, we're always looking for participants from a very diverse background. So if you want to be a subject in one of our studies, check us out on Twitter. And if you want to be a part of my research at Maastricht University, which involves DMT and the visual cortex, then you should probably follow me on Twitter. Also, follow me on Instagram, because why not? Also, how awesome would it be if there was a website you can go to find all openings for clinical research in psychedelic science? That'd be amazing.